What's the biggest plot twist you've seen in real life? My grandfather's funeral. He was always a fairly reserved and distant father as far as I understood. Would fit the stereotype of a northern dock worker who comes home expecting dinner to be in the table and then goes to the pub all evening via the bookies. He never spent the evening with us. He was always out at that time. Anyway. An unsurprising heart attack later. We're all gathered for his funeral. We're a big, but close family, so we know everyone, including his friends. However, one guy turns up. About the same age as my dad and his siblings who nobody knows. Long story short. Turns out it was my grandfather's son. From another family. From another marriage. That went on for as long as his marriage to my grandmother. My grandfather had maintained 2 marriages over 40 years. Having 7 children with my grandmother and just the one with this other woman. They knew about our family and kept away, and apparently my grandmother knew about them but kept quiet. Turns out he wasn't going to the pub every night. Have you ever had a close friend cross a line in your relationship? My best friend of 5 years began nightly belittling me over a group chat. I was having a really hard time in life, but he found humor in making me a public joke. He crossed the line. Not when he told me that my issues were stupid and that if I was serious I should just kill myself. Not when he wrote a letter to my boss telling him to fire me because I couldn't give him proper time. Not when he threatened to call a lawyer on me and sue me for blocking him on Facebook. But when he posted my address and phone number on Craigslist saying I was ready for a hookup and that the men should just come right in. Yes. I did go to the police and got a cease and desist. His mother reached out to me and asked me what even happened. I told her I couldn't handle him belittling me over a nightly chat. Turns out, his mother never contacted me. He logged into her Facebook account and screamed. Have you ever had a bad gut feeling about someone? Which turned out to be true. The girlfriend and I used to work at the same ski hill. And the place was pretty much full of seasonal employees. Anyway, she got this new dude in her department that everyone thought was a super nice guy. I did not trust him. There was just something about the way he talked to female employees that just seemed weird. He was trying to gain their trust way too quick. I made my sentiments known to my girlfriend and other friends and they thought I was just being jealous. I worked part-time out of town at the time. And he'd always ask me what days I was gone. It was weird. He also didn't have a car. So sometimes my girlfriend would give him a ride home and he'd ask her to hang out. She declined. So at the end of the season, a female friend of ours and this guy decide to rent a place together. They weren't dating and is there in the final steps. Federal marshals show up and arrest him. Turns out he had been on the run for over a year for kidnapping and raping a girl in a different part of the country. Trust your instincts. Redditors who are clearly not the favorite child. How did that affect you? My mom was abusive towards me, but never towards my brother. Thankfully. When it came to getting attention from her, I only knew negative and thought it was strange when we would be around the rest of the family and she was nice towards me, as I only knew her beating the shit out of me. As I got older, I looked for affection from anywhere I could get it, which was usually older boys. Whenever she saw anyone treating me well, she did whatever she could to ruin it. I was 18 when I moved out and my mother changed. She didn't have me to beat on, so he saw a different side of her. I moved back to Oregon later. Me and my brother got close quickly. One of the reasons was because of my daughter. As I said earlier, I looked for affection from anyone I could get it from, and as a result to my actions I became a teen mother. After a few years we both managed to forgive our mother. But in different ways. He forgave her and pretty much started a new relationship with her. I forgave her and cut ties completely. It was honestly one of the best and most exhilarating